But how does one sustain this AI muscle, if you will, right? In other words, we've all heard stories that, here was a guy who was so calm and, I mean, look at him now, just what has gotten into him, or someone who was, very angry all the time, and, we see he's mature, right? So the sustaining is more not just from a cultural aspect, but for leaders. In other words, should they be undergoing something like school periodically, or do you know of stories where leaders kind of go up down, maybe as peaks and valleys as their career progresses, or does the curve generally tend to go in one direction? What have you seen?
No, I think the nature of human existence is to have the peaks and valleys, and that is what makes life interesting as well. So, and the same thing would happen, in a corporate setting as well. That there would be peaks and valleys, and like you said, yes, I have heard of instances where maybe there was a person, high potential, who was, performing extremely well in a particular geography, for example, and then so they get transferred to a different location, and for some reason they stop performing. So there are certain elements that would sort of affect a person while they are in the journey, and they would have to continuously monitor, so okay, so now I've been placed somewhere else, what's happening inside in my world, what are things that are actually affecting me, why are they affecting, and okay, so if they are affecting me, what do I want to do about it? So these are some helpful questions. So, to, like you said, to bring in that sustenance. So there are two elements. One is where the individual themselves can sustain those practices. Like, for example, there is a very nice app where there's a free app available on Play Store, which I share with whichever groups I go with. It's called a mindfulness bell. So and Gen Zs like that because they are very app savvy people, and and the beauty of that app is you can program it whenever you want a reminder. And generally, what I say is 2 times in the day, if you can, in the work hours, right, not just before sleeping and not just on waking up, but in the work hours, when that gong goes, you just stop, pause for a few seconds to see, okay, what's happening to me at a body level, at a physical level. Is some, are my shoulders getting very tight? Are there butterflies in my stomach? What is happening in the physical, at a physical level? What is happening to my emotions? Where are my thoughts just now? Are they in the future? Are they in the past? Or am I actually present to whatever I'm doing? So, that pause itself is a great exercise to come back to, what am I supposed to focus on, and what is the best thing I need to do at this point of time. So, currently there is a lot of, apart from emotional intelligence, mindfulness is another sort of buzzword. So these, work in tandem and help the person to come back. So very often a person can be sitting in front of the laptop but has got distracted because of some other pinging on the phone, or like Gen Zs are looking at 3 devices at the same time. So when the gong goes, that is a great way to just come back, that okay, let me relook at what was I supposed to be doing, where is the mind wandered off, and it just helps you to come back. So that is a great way to exercise the muscle. And these are things that I'm saying where the individual can do, and then I'll come to what the manager can do. So the second thing that individuals can do for themselves is, just create a log of in what situation was I triggered and what was the reaction that I gave. So if they can just a simple Excel sheet they can maintain over at least a period of 21 days to 30 days, they will arrive at patterns, and then they will, be able to see what sort of behaviors are they sort of displaying, and then if they want to take action about it, especially where the result has not been very fruitful, what is something that they would like to do about it. So that is another thing that people can do for themselves. What managers can do for them is, one is, of course, to first of all show them that they respect the Gen Z and their choices, and then use influencing techniques where, again, Gen Z has their own way of looking at role models, and they have their own influencers. So using those examples, how they can give them not only the inspiration, but also give them feedback and influence them through their role models. The other very, very important thing is, I was just looking up some statistics where they say that 40% of Gen Z wants interaction with their supervisors to help them plan the priorities for the day. And coaching and mentoring seems to be highly, highly rated. In fact, I know of several youngsters where at the time of taking on the job itself, they put this in front of people that we would want somebody to mentor us. And many times, I think the Gen Z is quite frustrated at times when they don't get that, because everyone is so busy and no one seems to have time to mentor them or to coach them. And at the same time, they are constantly expecting output from them. So that is something that companies and managers can definitely do. And there are some companies now, like Sudarshan Chemicals, like Atlas Copco, like ACC Cement. They're really investing in creating in-house coaches and mentors. So that they are available to these the younger generation that is entering the